After cheersport, there's been a lot of discussion around scoring. Questions about raw score, difficulty, and why teams who look like they're performing way more difficult skills still receive the same difficulty score as teams who are not. I'm going to explain how the United score sheet works and how to look at the breakdown in a practical manner. What I'm going to explain and talk about can be applied to almost any division across all levels using the United scoring system. So let's simplify it. Let's talk about the structure of the score sheet. The United score sheet can be understood by three main pillars: difficulty, execution, and overall. The difficulty looks at how difficult the skills are, the execution looks at how clean they are presented, and the overall looks at the big picture like creativity, formations, and showmanship. There's a building judge, a tumbling judge, and an overall judge. There are two scores on this breakdown that are a combined score of all three judges. That would be the routine creativity and the showmanship score. Each judge will score the team in those two categories, and the final score will be an average of those three scores. All three judges get to judge on creativity, and in my opinion, any type of score where all of the judges get to have a factor or a say, it ups the level of importance. With that said, let's define a raw score. A raw score is the total combined score before any deductions are applied. Understanding the raw score definition is important, especially as we discuss the breakdown, because a lot of teams, parents, and athletes get confused on what the raw score specifically consists of. Here's the breakdown from Large Senior 6 Day 1 at Cheersport. Let's talk about the compressed categories highlighted in blue. The compressed categories are the areas of the score sheet where top teams are consistently maxing out. If these routines are performed again at NCA, these scores will not change. Why? Because difficulty is based on meeting an elite threshold. For example, in Large Senior 6, the rubric requires them to do 3 elite element in 6 groups and 1 elite element in 7 groups. If they do that, they are guaranteed the max stunt difficulty score. Now, you're probably wondering why teams will go out there and do 5, 6, even 7 elite skills in 9 groups if the rubric requirement is so minimum, and that is because they are training these routines for the World Championship. The World Championship is on a totally different scoring platform, which I will get into in another video, but specifically for varsity, most teams that are competing for the top 5, the top 7, are all going to have the same stunt difficulty score. And this is consistent throughout all of the blue numbers. If you're looking at this sheet, the blue numbers will not change from event to event. Let's talk about the separation categories. These are the categories that move in real time. This includes every single execution category and every single overall category. First, when looking at the yellow scores, look how overall heavy they are. Every single overall score has the subject to change from competition to competition. That would be the routine creativity, the formations and transitions, the dance, and the showmanship. The reason why I am emphasizing the bottom half of the score sheet is because this is where the judges have the room to decide the winners. These are the scores with variability where the judges can move them up or down based on the performance. Something I want everyone to understand is that there are only two difficulty scores that can change from competition to competition when performing the exact same routine. The first difficulty score is pyramid difficulty. The building judge can score the pyramid difficulty based on however it is performed that day. There are many aspects that can go into deciding the pyramid difficulty, and the judge will use their discretion in order to reward that difficulty score. The second would be dance difficulty. You can do the same exact dance from competition to competition and see that score change due to how it was performed or the actual technique of the dance. The dance judge will also use their discretion to score that dance however they see fit, how it was performed that day. Looking at the breakdown, understanding what a compressed category and a separating category is, I hope this creates a mind shift in the viewer on how the winners are decided. It is mainly execution based, especially on a varsity score sheet. Another way to look at this breakdown specifically at difficulty is that the difficulty will not be compared outside of pyramid. To really drive that point home, if you have a team that goes out there and does 10 two to double whip doubles, and then you have another team go out there and do 10 wonderfuls, you're still going to score the same. A two to double whip double is considered equally as difficult as a standing back handspring to full on the United score sheet. Whether we agree with that doesn't matter. That's the reality of it across all categories. You could do 7 full up hitch kick full baskets or 7 kick double baskets, and you are still going to receive the same difficulty score because of the minimum requirement for the max difficulty score. At varsity events, especially 2-day competitions where divisions have 10 to 15 teams deep, the reality is that the winners or the top 2 or 3 are going to be separated by either 10th or hundredths of a point because there is such little wiggle room for the judges to work with. Because of all of the compressed categories, it really does come down to the execution and overall aspect of the performance. My main goal is for everyone to understand that the raw score is not difficulty driven. Difficulty really doesn't matter outside of pyramid and dance. Other than that, anyone that has a chance to win, they're all going to have the same difficulty score. The United scoring system is so complex, and there are so many things that I want to cover and I do plan on covering. But until then, please check out my most recent videos on planning your practices the week of a competition and how to improve your showmanship score. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and look forward to more content coming soon.